Welcome back to What's Up with Prophecy Today. Today I have an interesting article that was found in the National Post. I think this is a Canadian publication. And the title of this article is called "The Price of Worship During COVID." And it's about an Ontario church that was fined and an Alberta pastor that sits in prison. Now, who would ever thought that Canada would come to this? So it says in this article, in Canada, charter freedoms are not absolute. Evidently, charter freedoms are like the freedoms that we have in the United States, like freedom of religion and freedom of assembly, etc. So it says charter freedoms are not absolute. The government can restrict them, but they must justify them, one Ontario lawyer says. So let's delve into this a little bit. So the authority of God and the necessity of worship during a time of great tribulation supersedes the imposition of measures to stop the spread of COVID-19, argues a number of churches across Canada that are facing legal actions for what? Well, for holding services in violation of lockdown rules against indoor gathering. The latest was happened at a Trinity Bible Chapel in Waterloo, Ontario, west of Toronto. And it has been ordered to pay, get this, $38,000 in fines and $45,000 in legal costs for holding services in defiance of Ontario's limit of 10 people per indoor gathering and of a court order injunction ordering them to follow the rules. Can you imagine that? A small church is being fined $38,000 in fines, and they have over $45,000 in legal fees. Well, the article continues here. Our offense is that we believe that God is our supreme authority above and beyond all parliaments and courts, wrote Pastor Jacob Renumi in a blog post about the fines. He says Christians throughout history have often found themselves conflicted when earthly rulers order them to do what God forbids or forbids them from doing what God commands. In such instances, we must obey God over government. So that's what this pastor said. The church isn't the only one. In one high-profile case, Pastor James Coates, who ministers to Grace Life Church in Parkland Country, just outside of Edmonton, has been behind bars. He's actually been in jail. He's been behind bars since February 16th. He has refused to abide by bail conditions that would see him released, which include not attending or holding services. So instead of giving in to their demands, he's stuck in jail. Isn't that something? This is in Canada. This article continues. The Edmund Interfaith Center has argued in a letter to the community that religious citizens should not be following the public health orders begrudgingly and minimally, but willingly and with overabundance of care. They say that this may require certain sacrifices of self and of freedom, but such is the path of love, the letter says. So this was the Edmonton Interfaith Center that put this out. As for Resume's church in Waterloo, the fines now total, get this, $83,000 for holding services. Well, the case dates back to the services held in December on January 22nd, and Ontario court has unequivocated with an injunction. No more than 10 people are allowed to worship. That's it. The church went on 2 days later holding a service with more than 200 participants. Boy, they're pretty nervy people, aren't they? Risking reputation and financial viability to offer eternal hope and warm Christian fellowship to a world in despair is an act of love that I am certain Jesus smiles on, the pastor wrote. Well, this is very interesting what's going on in Canada. And I also, in the future, I'll get you some of the ones that are occurring in the United States. They're doing roughly similar things, especially in California. So what I want to ask you is this. What would you do if the government near you would shut down your church? Would you obey them? Or would you have a different opinion and want to obey God? You know, in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25, it says this, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, so much more as you see the day approaching. So this says that as the day approaches, and I think this means the end of days, the day when Jesus is going to return to earth. So as the day when we are looking forward to Jesus returning to earth, we should not forsake assembling of ourselves. So this is going to be a question that each individual and each church may have to answer in the near future. Well, that's it for today. That's it for our What's Up Today in Prophecy. So we'll see you tomorrow with some more interesting news that we find going on in the world. God bless and keep praying for Jesus soon coming. Thank you.